And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at what is still criticalblast.com. And tonight we have a special treat for you. We're going to veer away from some of the independent publishing talk that we do a lot of times. We have a lot of artists and writer creators on here. We're going to talk with writers and creators of a different kind. We're going to go into independent films. And with us tonight, we have Ms. Chloe Traicos, who is going to be starring in the new film, Introducing Jodea. Have I got that right, Jodea?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm learning all kinds of new words tonight. So I see on the credits that you're actually the writer on this one.
That's right. Yes.
Is that a new role for you?
No. I'm a writer and an actor. And this one I wrote, as you know, from the storyline, it's based on a lot of my acting experiences. So yes.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer for that, and I could tell that it felt real, and it felt informed by a lot of things that probably do happen in Hollywood when actors meet for the first time, especially in the indie scene where you're maybe meeting somebody and they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are, but you're all on your way to becoming bigger and better stars. And speaking of that trailer, I think maybe it'd be a good idea if perhaps we showed that. And
okay, sure.
I'll just earn a copyright strike from YouTube right now.
Absolutely, go for it. Yep. No, that's fantastic.
I got it loaded up.
She was a struggling actress.
Where's my beef ramen?
We're understaffed.
She just can't catch a break.
You're cheating with some slut to help my career.
Yeah, she can help me get a good agent.
He was a world-famous director who wants his comeback film to succeed.
I know what I'm doing when it comes to casting.
And I got you a good one for this.
Action. Shut up.
You shut up.
I quit.
You get Ethan Burns for me, and the movie's a hit.
Ethan's heard all the rumors about the drug abuse, and he doesn't want any part of it.
But then, fate brought them together.
So let me take care of it. I gotta go, okay?
You spelled my name wrong.
I want an unknown for this one.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
You killed my brother. Now it's time for you to meet your fate.
If you could teach that to act, I convince Ethan Burns to do the lead in the film.
Can he turn the world's worst actor into a star
What the hell are you doing?
in just 1 week?
Punching.
Yeah, just don't.
Vengeance is mine.
Is it? I feel like the bag's winning here.
Now it's time for you to fate.
She is so bad. He's got to be fucking her.
Think of that low-life scum who dumped you. Imagine the way he looks at her. Like he never looked at you. Cut!
I love you.
Cut!
A story about love.
Hollywood's not about loyalty, Zach.
All that stuff you told me about thinking I had potential, that was all lies, huh?
And growth.
People worked in a cafe.
With the flavors, we have customers.
I got it.
Suppose you could give me some accuracy in your movies. I tend to lean away from it.
How do you feel about Zach the Bear with his dude leading lady? Acting is acting. Acting is being.
Introducing Jodea.
You ever see a film called Born in Vegas?
That is the worst acting ever. You seen it?
I had the lead role in that film.
Okay, so I have this feeling that last scene has to have been based on something that actually happened.
No, actually, I've had not that scene exactly, but I have had experiences where I've met famous actors and I haven't known who they are, and I've started talking to them, and thankfully never put my foot in it that badly. But yeah.
Good. I'm glad that would be beyond embarrassing, I would think.
Yes.
Trying. So obviously there's going to be some very clear lines drawn to My Fair Lady, and your role is sort of an Eliza Doolittle in this. I mean, you've got this not an actor, and when she starts to act, he's really very bad at it, and a guy who's basically placing the bet. You transform her. You come on, Pygmalion, pull Galatea out of the brick, and
I'm impressed. Yeah, no, I'm impressed that you picked up on that element right away. But yes, it is very much a Pygmalion story, you know. But it's also like the Pygmalion story. It's also she also ends up teaching him things as well about himself. So it kind of works both ways. I mean, he takes her on, but he's the one who ends up actually learning. So it's, yeah.
So I've heard that it's really difficult to sing really badly if you know how to sing. And these scenes where we see Jodea. See, I'm already mixing the character and the actor up.
That's fine. That's fine. I take that as a compliment. That's fine. Yep.
Well, we see Jodea doing really bad acting, and what do you pull on to really not sell it when you're trying to not act and you're acting like you're not acting?
That's a really good question. You know, when we first started rehearsals, John, the director, was saying to me, I thought I was acting badly. And John was saying to me, no, you're acting too well. You're still passable as an actor. You need to make it that much worse. You need to make it that much bigger. And I started off and I thought, oh no, this is exaggerating it so much. But then you just kind of like, you kind of got to get into the thinking of someone who's never really been taught to act, or they've been taught the wrong way. And that's kind of where Jodea is. You know, she thinks she's acting, she thinks she's giving everything by being bigger, but she's not. She's just embarrassing herself. So you kind of just have to get into that, and you sort of put some of the anxiety the character's feeling about, I have to do this, I have to get it right. And, you know, and putting it all together, it kind of like comes across as really loud and, you know, funny, hopefully. Yep.
Yeah. So Introducing Jodea was initially a short film, and I haven't researched the short film, so I don't know if you were able to get the same team back together to expand it out.
Oh, sure. Well, no, it wasn't initially a short. It's always been a feature. What the short was we at one stage we were going to make it on a much higher budget, and we were going to use the short. It was like a prequel called One Day in Hollywood, of when Jodea arrives in Hollywood. And we were going to use that as a way of raising more money to make the feature. So yes, John directed that, but aside from that, there was really no one else in the team. I mean, it's a very different story. It's none of the characters in there, because it's just Jodea just arriving in Hollywood, doesn't know anyone, gets a job as a waitress, thinks she catches a break, but she turns out the guy who asks her to be in his movie turns out he's a producer of pornography, and that's how it ends. So it's kind of again, it's a sort of funny Jodea klutzy being an idiot, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the storyline with that one. Yep.
And is probably the story of many an actor who actually does come to Hollywood looking for
right, exactly, yes.
So as a writer, as a screenwriter, when you do have the idea, what's the process of shopping something around? Now, I'm saying this because, you know, I am a writer. I've gotten, 5 novels under my belt with publishers, not, self-published thing. But if I ever wanted to write a screenplay, what would you tell somebody to do? Because it's always, you can't get in unless they know you, and they won't know you until you get in.
Sure. I mean, I say the best thing to do is to have like a handful of people you trust, not necessarily people in the industry, people you can trust to be honest with you and whose opinions you respect, to give you feedback. Now with me, one of them happens to be John, who directed it. He's one of my oldest friends, and he's someone I always go to with my scripts, because he gives brutally honest feedback. He's never nice. And that's kind of what you need. You need to get the honest feedback from those who love you first, and then do a couple of rewrites based on the various feedback you get. And then with shopping it around, I mean, I suggest is going around to people who kind of like, who've made similar movies, who you think that this is something they will like. And I mean, preferably if you before that, I mean, if you can find an agent or manager, that's always best, because a lot of the time when you target production companies, they're going to come back to you with a no unsolicited mail line.
Exactly.
So if you can find a manager or agent, that's usually the best part. Yes, and just and yeah, and then that's how you go about, and then and then just go out to production companies. I mean, if you have if you know of anyone who directs, I mean, I say go with every angle you can. So I mean, like, could send it to a production company and to a director who and if one of them picks up, if they both like it, then great. And if just one of them likes it, great. And if neither like it, then just try somewhere else. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I only tried it once, and that was because they'd just done Disney's Through the Looking Glass, the movie with Mia Wasikowska, and I was like, well, they've run out of Alice books now. Obviously, there's only 2 of them, but they kept finding more pirates to do, because they were finding these obscure pirate books, and they would transform them into the next Pirates of the Caribbean. And the first novel that I written happened to be an Alice in Wonderland pastiche that was supposed to be the third in the trilogy. So I it's not a manuscript. I'm not soliciting. I'm just like, hey, if you like this stuff, here it is. And of course, it got the package didn't even get opened. It was just returned to sender.
Oh yeah. It's oh, I mean, I'd be interested in reading that. I love Alice in Wonderland.
We'll talk offline. I'll send you a copy. I got one right here.
We'll talk offline. But it is. It's a lot of it's like that. I mean, where are you based, by the way?
Well, I am right now in northwestern Arkansas, but normally I operate out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, fantastic!
So I'm not out there in on the West Coast where I can just walk up to people and get to know them. I'm out here I'm working cybernetically.
Well, I think in today's world, especially with COVID, everyone's working cybernetically, so I don't think location's a problem. It's but yeah, no, I mean, I think if you can find even if you find a local manager or agent, that I think would be the way to go. Because they're so paranoid. It's so, I mean, and I try and bring that across in Jodea with the whole I mean, it's one thing where California is very different from Australia, where I used to live, is the paranoia element. They're paranoid about being sued for reading a script and ideas, and in the same way, agents and all are paranoid. So that's kind of like I brought that in a humor slide in Jodea by having her, run into agents' offices and be escorted out by security, kind of thing. So it was just something which I sort of thought would be something that I could make fun of in the film. But yeah, it's I mean, I think if you can find a manager or agent or something like that, I'd recommend that's the way to go. Yep.
I'll give that a shot next time I think about it. But yeah, people are just so lawsuit happy. It's like, hey, you made a movie about a guy and a girl who fall in love, and I sent you a script 20 years ago about a guy and a girl who fall in love. And
I know, it's like, and I've talked to a few producers who've been accused, and they say that it pisses them off. But sorry, excuse my language.
No, you're fine. We're not for kids.
They said they say that a lot of the time they just end up paying out, just because it's so much easier than going through a court case, even though they say it's wrong. They know it's wrong. They didn't steal the idea, but it's so much easier just to get rid of the person. And I think a lot of people know that, and they think like, oh, you know what? Hey, let's just see how much money we can make off this guy. So yeah, so I can understand the paranoia to an extent, but at the same time, it is really frustrating when you just want someone to read your stuff, and you just keep getting stone walls all the time.
Yeah, people getting paid off just perpetuates the whole cycle of the whole thing. Somebody just needs to stomp somebody once and for all and say, nope, we don't do this.
Exactly. Yep.
So when you were writing Introducing Jodea, did you have in mind the people who to cast for these roles? I mean, were you writing to that actor? Or
no, absolutely not at all. Jeff, who played Zach, is way better looking than what I wanted for Zach. I actually saw Zach as being more sort of like someone who you can really see has used drugs and alcohol the past 15 years. And I didn't see him as being good looking. I saw him as being sort of rugged and bitter and twisted. The character I based Zach on was my ex-boss in Australia, and and so I envisioned the person I envisioned for Zach was completely different, and it was initially Judd Nelson was going to play the role, and Judd ended up having a clash with another movie he was doing, and their schedule went over, and so it was like we had only a limited time to shoot this because we had John, we'd flown out John from Australia, so he was on a visa. We were pushed for time, so we literally had to cast the role. We had to recast, and so Jeff had actually initially auditioned for Miles. For Miles's role, the boyfriend role, and he was the best. He was going to play the boyfriend, and so John said to me, "Look, let's just get the actress who auditioned for the boyfriend role to audition for Zach," and they did, and they were all good. But Jeff was far and away the best, and it was kind of like John took a lot of persuading with me because I thought Jeff was brilliant, but I just still had Zach in my mind as this bitter, twisted, older guy, not this young, handsome guy, and and John was like, but look, this is going to sell. And and then of course, once we got doing it, he was, you kind of like, you adapt, you think, no, Jeff was amazing. He's really
well, he's got this Liam Hemsworth thing going for him that really works well for him in the movie as a director. And it's
sure. Yep, he does. It's like, it's like, he's, I also see a young Brad Pitt there, but he's, no, he's fantastic. And it's, he is, but so none of them were written for the actors. It was just, they all just, it just happened. Those were the actors we got, and they were all amazing. Yep.
Captain Cockney Spock is in the chat here. He's a YouTuber out of Great Britain. He's not talking to you, but he's talking up to the Liam Hemsworth line. He's saying, "Does Barry Manilow know that you rate his wardrobe?" So don't go quoting Hemsworth in the chat. I'll be breaking up. Now you see what you did, Captain. You derailed my train of thought here. I wanted to talk more about casting and how you find the people for these, because a lot of the independent films, and we've advertised, we've interviewed with different casts now and then. It's not my forte, so it's not something I have a lot of experience speaking to, hence the stuttering and the thinking. But when we do interview casts, it's always or mostly casts that have worked together in some capacity before on multiple films. They've crossed paths a lot. There's a family kind of element to it. So it's like, hey, we're going to do a film. Let's get the band back together. Was there any of that here? Did you work with people here that you, other than your director?
With John and I, the director, John has worked with me on. John directed my first movie, and then he was a producer on my second movie, and then he edited my third movie. So he and I are like family. So when we got him to direct this, there was that element of getting the family back together again. So there was that. But
right. I understood with the director that there was that previous relationship, but as far as any of the other actors, did you have to go through a whole casting strangers?
No, they were all strangers. Yep. Except I didn't. They were all like Kent, who played Grant, was in my last movie, Devil's Cove, and he's a phenomenally talented actor. I wanted him in this, and so yes, he I had worked with before. Then like Steve, who plays Fred, I knew we'd never worked together before, but we were friends. And then he auditioned, and he was by far the best. With actors, you could say not really, not like with John and me, yes, but not with everyone else.
Okay. In this era where media is so portable, personally portable, has that changed the audition practice any? I know it used to be where you'd take a casting call, you'd go and you'd get a script, you'd read lines on stage. But now it seems like if you've done something before, you can just say, here's my data stick. Go take a look at some of these scenes here.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I get auditions for stuff that's being shot all over the place, and I just need to get it filmed and email it. And it's, I personally prefer it. It's a lot less nerve-wracking, than showing up to an audition and performing in front of everyone. But yes, and definitely with this as well. With us auditioning this, we did meet all the actors. They all came in and auditioned. But I have done other movies before where they've just sent in a video or a reel, and I think it works. I do actually like the way it is now. It's
All right. For folks who are watching right now or on the replay, and you're thinking, she looks familiar. It's very possible that you have HBO Max and that you've been watching the Righteous Gemstones. Can you tell us a little bit about your character on that series and how you came to be part of that?
Sure. It was very funny. It was the only audition I've ever done where I got the part without a callback. It was like I was completely blown away. And the audition, they said to me, we're not, you don't have any dialogue. You've got to make it up. So I pretty much had to ad lib. They just said you're a devoted wife and a loving mom. And so I had to like, I don't know if you remember the lunch scene, they pretty much just asked me to ad lib a whole lot of dialogue, which I did. And I wasn't expecting to get the part, and I did, which was great. And yeah, so that was a character, Gloria, who is kind of, I play Walton Goggins' wife. He plays the fabulous character Baby Billy, and I'm actually his fourth wife. So I'm somewhat of a trophy bride who sort of very concentrates. They wanted me to be very glamorous for the role. It was actually fantastic. They kept doing my hair every day in these gorgeous 1980s hairdos, which I loved. I wish I was able to do my hair like that because it looked fantastic. And that was just, and I'm kind of like just a very devoted wife who kind of lets her husband take over. I mean, Baby Billy's character is the dominant one, and I kind of like just do go along with all his crazy schemes. So yeah.
I was in high school in the 80s. We are what destroyed the ozone layer with all the spray in the hair to hold it up and tease it high. But to sit across from Walter Goggins, one of my personal acting heroes. I'm like
I love him.
He just chews up scenes when he's on it. It's like, is that daunting? I'm thinking of his role. Most recent role I've seen him in was with Mel Gibson in Fat Man, and he's just this relentless killer.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but yeah, no, he's amazing. I mean, and he like is one of these amazing actors who can just ad lib at will, and just he's phenomenal. But he's very, very nice to work with. Just a very, 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 very nice, lovely guy. So, Introducing Jodea is coming to theaters. Is it getting a wide release or a limited release? No, it's getting a limited release, and then at the Lamley Theater, and then we will be and then it'll be online platforms. But yeah.
You're gonna take it on the festival circuit?
Yes. No, we've been doing the festival circuit, and it's been going well for us. But yes, so we probably just, we will screen in a few more festivals. We open at the Lamley on June 4th. And that's pretty much where we are right now.
So after that, we'll look forward on, streaming services like Netflix, yes, HBO Max,
Amazon, Hulu, all of them. Yep.
All of them. Oh, all of them. So you're not just like going to go exclusive.
No. I'm not exactly sure on which exact ones right now. I just don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. But yeah, it's that. Yeah.
All right. Yep. Well, Chloe, I know you're on your phone, and having had to do these things on my phone before, I realize that you're probably now at about 1% battery power.
That's okay. I have my charger, but yes, no. Thank you for reminding me. I should probably start charging it up again. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to get hot, and it's going to get low on power, and it's going to cut out. So I'll go ahead and wrap things up here and let you get back to wherever you're going. But sure. I do want to thank you for taking the time to come tell us about the movie. A lot of movies I'll get offered to do talks on, and like I said, I'm normally into the writing and the art. Who are we kidding? They're called comic books. Yes. We do a lot of that, but every once in a while I see one that intrigues me. And Introducing Jodea, and from what I saw in the trailer, was like, yeah, I want to talk about this one. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. So I will be looking for for this to come on streaming or Screener Link or whatever it is they'll pass along our way. Looking forward to seeing you in it.
Great, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Where will we see you next?
I've been called back to the Gemstones for season 2.
Wonderful.
So that's a possibility, and then just keep an eye out for Jodea.
We'll do that. All right, thank you, Chloe. Appreciate it so much. Everyone in the chat, appreciate you being here
Thank you
for
so
the live
much.
broadcast. And as